What's up, tribe? This is my third time trying to record this intro due to some technical difficulties and some golfers in the background, but we're going to jump right into it. Today's topic is we're all just figuring it out. And this came from a conversation I had with a few friends a couple days ago about feeling like a sense of anxiety whenever they were talking to people either older than them or in higher like power senses when it comes to like work or like familial stuff. I've thought about this since I was like a little kid. You know, whenever you were young, it was nerve-wracking to go talk to the parents about something, but having talked to as many people as I have and asking the right questions, I believe, have definitely helped. I've realized that we're all just figuring it out. Like, we're all just people, and the 30-year-old person you're talking to that you're nervous to talk to, or the 40 or 50 or 60, is just 10 years older, 5 years older, 6 months older, and in that older, there's only so much that happens. We'll touch on that here shortly. We're all just the same 20-year-old, 21-year-old dude or 21-year-old chick who is going through life and trying to figure it out at every step of the process. And I've been so fortunate to have been able to talk to people in very different financial places throughout their life, and finances being like a huge determination of your quality of life. People in their 50s are struggling just as much, if not more, than people in their 20s that I know, and vice versa into their 30s and into their 60s and into their 80s. And we're literally all just trying to figure it out with the cards that we have in front of us in this insane game of life that no one really knows the rules to or knows exactly how to play it. We're just all trying our best. So hopefully that sits with some people, because I know I had a bit of turmoil with that in my past, feeling like that anxiety when it came to talking to people of, once again, higher power or higher status or older in age, but they're you. They're literally the same age as you with that extra experience on top, but they're still the you that you are today. They were a you at one point, and they just figured some more stuff out up to their point. The next part of it, so age does not bring wisdom. The introduction and reflection of knowledge as you age brings wisdom. So just because someone's older than you doesn't mean they're more wise than you or smarter than you or better off than you in any way. Now, are there people that are? Probably, yeah. I hope that many of them are. As you go through life, you try to learn, you try to iterate, you try to become better, you try to improve your life and your situation and your circumstances. But just living life doesn't mean that they're better. And proof is in the pudding. There's a lot of people who are way older than you, anyone here I'm talking to, maybe a couple years older than some people, depending on who I'm talking to, but that are in a far worse position in multiple facets of their life. And not just in the sense that they were down on their luck, but that they hadn't learned from any of the mistakes that they made in the past or took advantage of many of the opportunities they had presented to them at the time that they were presented. So just because someone's older than you, don't think that they're better or that they've figured more out, or someone who's in a higher power or status or whatever is better than you in any sense. If they've gotten there, then hopefully they've gotten there by doing exactly this, reflecting on the knowledge that they've gained over the years that becomes the wisdom in which, I guess, you figure out more of the rules of life and how to play them. To double down on that, never stop learning. This is so vital, and I've heard this from so many people. And honestly, I've talked about John McConnell, one of my great mentors that I've had here in my life, and I've talked about him a lot on this channel, and he's actually a big reason for me being on as, I guess, grand of a spiritual and self-actualization journey that I'm currently on. But he's proof in the pudding that, I mean, he's lived 15 years beyond like his death date, from however many doctors, through whatever cancers, through whatever situation he's ever been in, whatever issues he's ever gone through, he's continued to persist. And one of the biggest things that's kept him alive is the curiosity and the work, like having purpose. And there's always something to learn, whether that be in the garden, whether that be in family, whether that be in finances. Like, I love the story of Colonel Sanders, for people who like feel like they can never get it right, or they'll never succeed. He was poor until he was in his 60s whenever he started KFC. And thanks to a good chicken recipe and some good connections and a lot of hard work, in his 60s he became rich. And going back to that same thought of the gardening, there's a Japanese term, I forget what it's called, but it literally means like the purpose of living. And it's why so many older people are still able to do freaking push-ups at 90 years old in places like Japan, like Okinawa, Japan, because they live by this term. I wish I could remember it. Maybe I'll plug it in the comments if I look it up after this video. But it's that purpose, to have friends, to have family, to play music, to garden, to tend to animals, like to never stop. And learning is just another branch of that. And then learn about what matters. This is, I guess, more of a tie, I mean, for anyone, but especially those who are around my age that may be listening. But once again, this really truly does apply to anyone. There's 2 books that I've read recently that have absolutely changed my perception and my perspective on not only life, but finances in particular. And as I stated previously, finances are a great correlator to your quality of life and how you live. So it's pretty important to take care of that. And I also love the phrase, even if you don't care about money, money is like oxygen. You need it. And in many ways, especially anywhere in modern society, you need it. So 2 things on this. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, I read a few months ago. I highly recommend that to anyone at any age ever. It literally reframes your thinking about how money works and how, like, and what your potential is, honestly, is what it's more about, even more than finances. It's about breaking through what you believe to be true and pursuing what you think is just a wild idea that you could never achieve or whatever, and making it a reality, because it truly is possible, and so many people have done it. And then the second book that I'm reading right now is Retire Young and Retire Rich, also by Robert Kiyosaki. And this goes even more in depth on that same point of truly pushing through what you believe you're capable of and setting goals way farther than you believe possible for yourself, and then building a plan, building the steps that are actually going to get you there, and acting upon them. And we've talked about that on this channel a lot too. Action is what makes the difference. I love the statement my dad used to always say, don't talk about it, be about it. And that's one of the truest statements literally ever. Like, doing the things you say you're supposed to do, build your confidence. You can never feel imposter syndrome if you say that you're all these things, but you're not. You're an imposter. You do all those things. You are who you say you are. Like, acting and doing and acting upon the things that matter. And to act on the things that matter, you need to know what matters. So educate yourself on what matters. Yeah, that's kind of the tail end of it. But I wanted to pop on here again, once again, 2 reasons. 1, I owe it to you guys. I made a commitment that I wanted to be here and to share the stuff that's going on in my head throughout the week, the things that I'm learning, the information that I'm picking up on, the things that are resonating with me. And then 2 is for my own personal, enjoyment and my ability to look back on this in the future. So hopefully, Levi, here in a few weeks, months, years, hopefully sooner in, we can look back on this and laugh and be proud that the guy that is looking at the camera right now is the person that built the person that I was then. And actually, I'll give one more anecdote to this for myself to look back on and for you guys. I think back on like the overweight, fat Levi who had no confidence and played video games all day and wasn't sure what he wanted to do with himself or what the future held or anything of the sorts. And it's really easy to look back on times of your life and be upset about them or, wish they didn't happen. But you wouldn't be where you are today if it wasn't for that, crappy, terrible, unmotivated, undriven version of yourself that was in that position, that decided to do something about it, that decided to make a change, that led me to being here today. I would not be here today if it were not for that version of myself that I can look back and hate on as much as I want and despise and disdain. That Levi made me. And the me now is going to create the me in the future. And branch this out, put your own name in here. But once again, I'm speaking to myself directly here, Levi, when you watch this back. But everyone else listening, think back on that time that, you hate in your life whenever you were the person that you didn't want to be and everything in your life felt like it was going wrong. That person was necessary to get you where you are today. So appreciate them for that. And think about who you want to be in a few days, weeks, months, years, decades, and be that person for them now. Make the decisions today that affect that person later. Make that person amazing. Even if you suck today, sounds good. You're allowed to suck. Like, you can suck for the rest of your life. But if you don't want to, do the things today that will make that person proud and hold yourself accountable to them, because you are them now. Like, you are the successful person, you are the fit person, you are the happy, loving, caring, charismatic, whatever, insert amazing, synonym or acronym here. Put that in right here, the person that you want to be, the amazing individual. You are that person now that is going to create that person later. So with that being said, do the things today that are going to not only help you today, but help yourself in the future and hopefully help those around you. That's the end of my soapbox here. Just wanted to talk to you guys once again and share a bit of what I've been thinking about, and end it off with, I guess, a passionate statement to myself, but to you guys alike. As always, guys, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you making it to these videos. I still have greater plans for this in the very near future. A lot more changes coming, like a lot, very soon. It's exciting, a little nerve-wracking, but once again, me saying these things out loud is another just reminder and recognition to myself to do the things today that matter, that will affect the person I'm gonna be. So go do those things, make yourself and the world better. I love each and every one of you. Keep grinding. I will see you guys on Sunday. I'm gonna go inside and edit and post this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.